It's midday. Good afternoon. Here's the world news at a glance and Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5FM. First, we'll take a look at the headlines. APC National Chairman says both serving and former governors are tearing party apart. APC Executive Committee set to ratify primary timetable today. Bayelsa State Governor says insecurity is worse now than in 2015. On the foreign scene, Mariupol faces final ultimatum as hundreds shelter in steel mill. Now the news in detail. I am Toluwale K. Ali. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Adamu, has accused some current and past governors of working at cross purposes to tear the party apart. Adamu disclosed this in his opening address at the 11th National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the party. The meeting is being attended by President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Senate President Ahmed Lawan, House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, and other crucial stakeholders were members of the committee. While he declared that state governors are leaders of the party in their states, Adamu said the party's constitution does but have provision for dual leadership in the states. He, however, considered the former governors are leaders in their own rights, urging serving governors to accord them all the necessary respect. Meanwhile, the National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress will today ratify the timetable for the party's primaries. The Abdullahi Adamu-led National Working Committee sets the tone for today's emergency meeting during its rescheduled meeting in Abuja yesterday. The primaries are scheduled to hold from next month. At a crucial meeting in Abuja yesterday, the committee considered and approved a timetable for the various primaries to pick party flag bearers for the 2023 general elections. Away from that, legal practitioners have expressed diverse opinions on the call for a new Nigerian constitution. The media views known in light of the agitations that say the 1999 constitution cannot sufficiently address the socio-economic challenges currently pummeling the nation. Ayodele Fakeye has the details. Here's our report.
The renewed clamor for a new people-oriented constitution has now more than ever gained traction. This is, as many say, the perceived lacunas in the 1999 constitution and its inadequacy to solve critical issues makes it pertinent for it to be changed. Giving his opinion on the call for a new Nigerian constitution, a legal practitioner, Femi Aborishade, said the current leadership of the country cannot give the desired reform Nigerians seek.
Who are those who will draft the new constitution? Who are those who will determine those who may be assigned the task of drafting the new constitution? I think the call for a new constitution as a precondition for 2023 election is misplaced. I think it is an apolitical approach, an approach that does not appropriately understand the essence of power. I think the way to go is to insist that elections should hold and should be held on democratic basis.
He likewise said, although no constitution can be perfect, the constitution of the country needs to be improved upon.
Frankly speaking, you can never have a perfect constitution. We ought to improve on whatever we have at any point in time. It is a fact that the present constitution we are operating was imposed by the military, but that is a reflection of our historical reality.
Also speaking, a legal practitioner, Oluwatobi Fatoki, said, the call for a new constitution brings to mind a lot of questions begging for answers, adding that the current constitution is bound to be flawed due to how it was created.
We have to look at the historical background of the constitution we are operating presently in Nigeria. Though amended 2018, that was the 1999 constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You see, the major clause you see is we, the people of, who are the we, who drafted that constitution? Was it during the democratic era or group of some military and some people and gifted onto us to make it a working paper for the democratic dispensation? The truth about the constitution, how it was, well, I won't use the word enacted, but rather how it was created then by some people and imposed on us. So if that be the case, there is no way we won't have flaws.
He nevertheless said the amendment of the Constitution is rather achievable and that there are ways to go about it.
If the minds are clamoring for it, good, but mind you, you can't put something on nothing and expect to stand. So there are two things to look at. Is it the amendment or the making of a new constitution? But so far there is no breakage in democracy. The democracy we have been enjoying from 1999 has been on. Well, then I think amendment is much more better than total overhaul or replacement of the constitution.
Similarly, another legal practitioner, Aisha Popola, is of the opinion that although there are loopholes in the current constitution, it can only be reviewed.
There are provisions about the main law, which is the constitution, that contradict some other laws. So it's safe to say that we have loopholes in the constitution. In my opinion, we can't say it is right to put aside the constitution. It is a ground norm. It's best if the government or the legislators that actually make the law lay down, review it, check it in total.
It will be recalled that in March 2022, the National Assembly transmitted 44 constitution review bills to the 36 state houses of assembly for further legislative work. Ayadele Fakeye, Impact Business Radio News.
The governor of Bayelsa State, Doye has decried the worsening insecurity in the country, saying Nigeria is now worse than it was in 2015 when the All Progressives Congress took over power in the country. He called on the federal government to redouble its efforts at combating insecurity, particularly in the northern parts of the country. He spoke during separate visits of heads of some security agencies in Yenagua. Diri, when he received the controller of the Bayelsa State Command of the Nigeria Immigration Service, Sunday James, lamented the level of insecurity in the north, saying once a part of the country is in distress, other areas will also be affected. And on the foreign scene, Russia has issued an ultimatum to Ukrainian troops in the besieged port city of Mariupol to surrender later today. Reports has it that the final Ukrainian holdouts, accompanied by 1,000 civilians, are taking shelter in the city's massive Azovstal steel plant. Moscow's ultimatum comes as the local Ukrainian commander warned that his troops can only hold out for just days or hours. Kiev has, however, affirmed that there is a tentative deal to rescue some civilians from the city. A statement by Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister reveals that women, children and the elderly will be allowed to leave Mariupol under the deal. To end the news, another look at the major items. APC National Chairman says both serving and former governors are tearing party apart. APC Executive Committee set to ratify primary timetable today. Bayelsa State Governor says insecurity is worse now than in 2015. Another foreign scene, Mariupol faces final ultimatum as hundreds shelter in steel mill. Like us on Facebook and on Twitter at Ibr92.5FM Ibadan, or stream us live on www.ibr925fm.com. The news was produced and edited by Ferami Kimbote. I am Toluwale K. Ali, good afternoon and thanks for listening.
News.